This video is brought to you by Straight Goods News, Canada's alternative online news source. Visit straightgoods.ca.
Circumstances, and that is an abuse of the basic due process. If Vic Toews could defend this, he wouldn't have every single privacy commissioner in this country standing up and saying this is a wrong course.
What about change of tone? He didn't repeat his comments today, and even at the press conference, he's backed away from his comments that if you were not in favor of this, you're in favor of child pornography. Do you think he's been told to tone down his rhetoric if he wants to?
Well, I think the Conservatives realized they had to put old Vic back on the chain. You know, he has this tendency to start ranting, and they realize they have a huge problem with this bill. They have a huge problem with their base, so they have to start toning it down. But the fact is, Vic, if you're going to start spying on Canadians, you better be able to justify it. Because why should we get away altogether in terms of the judicial oversight for getting the tracking information? That's key.
You mentioned
what about
tracking.
the cost in all of this? There's going to be compensation for all the telecom companies every time a request is put in by police, but they're not telling us at this moment how much they're going to give these telecom companies.
This bill is bizarre because it's demanding telecoms put into their business model something that may not even be actually possible. Imagine the small ISPs are going to have to build this spyware. This is going to cost millions, if not billions. As the networks expand, they're insisting that these backdoor spy systems are put in place. And if Canadians really think that it's not going to come off their cell phone bills, they got another thing coming.
And then also the government's going to be compensating them for every request that they actually put in, so this is going to be coming out of government coffers as well.
Well, I think we're going to be in a situation where they have to build the spyware themselves. They have to put these backdoor mechanisms in themselves. That's a cost to the consumer. So that is going to cut. I mean, we already pay the highest cell phone rates in the world. We already have lack of competition. So we're going to throw that on top. And now if they're going to compensate for every snooping expedition they do, if I was a telecom, I'd believe it when I see it.
But you keep talking about tracking, so can you explain exactly what in the bill you think will allow for tracking?
Clause 16 in
Yes.
the bill
Yes.
allows the access to all the hardware data information on a cell phone. When I wrote to Vic Toews, I said, are you going to do this? Because Stockwell Day promised us we weren't. Vic Toews said times have changed. So what's changed? Stockwell Day was clear there would be no going after this kind of information without a judicial warrant. Vic Toews says times have changed.
So what is your understanding of what will be possible or feasible with this information?
What's feasible now is that they can find out your IP address. They can find out what the number of your vehicle, of your cell phone is, and so without a warrant, you can gather a whole whack of information on that. Well, where you go, you can turn that on. I mean, I don't know about you, but my cell phone has a map that tells me where I am at all times. So without going to the judge and saying, listen, we need this information. This is not getting us a phone because a phone stays at your house, right? The days when they needed your phone out of a phone book, well, everyone had their phone number published and your phone was at your house. Your cell phone is with you at all times, wherever you go. So that information is vital. So if there's a reason for it, why not just get a telewarrant?